Welcome back to Wealth Atlas Official. In our last video, we explored the industries which would be most transformed by AI over the next 5 years. But today, we're going bigger. Which countries will actually drive the world's economic growth over the next decade? We're not just talking about who's the biggest right now. We're talking about where the world's new wealth will be created, where investors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries should be watching if they want to ride the next wave. This video will break down the top 10 countries projected to add the most to global GDP by 2035, based on the latest data from the IMF, World Bank, and leading economic research. Let's get started. First, how did we pick this list? We used projections for absolute GDP growth in US dollars from 2025 to 2035, not just percentage growth and not just current size. This way, we show you where the actual new dollars, new opportunities, and new customers will come from. If you're an investor or entrepreneur, this is where the action will be. Let's count down. Number 10, Mexico. Over the next decade, Mexico is expected to add nearly $1 trillion to the world economy. Mexico is set to benefit hugely from nearshoring. That means U.S. and Canadian companies moving manufacturing closer to home. Automotive, aerospace, electronics, and medical device production are expanding fast. A young and growing population, plus improving business conditions, make Mexico a magnet for manufacturers and tech investors. It's also emerging as a player in electric vehicles and batteries. For investors, look at manufacturing, logistics, industrial real estate, and consumer markets as incomes rise. Number 9, France. France is projected to add about $1 trillion in new GDP by 2035. It remains a global heavyweight in luxury goods, aerospace, pharmaceuticals, and clean energy. France's green transition agenda is bringing big investments in renewables and infrastructure. Paris continues to be a hub for tech, fashion, tourism, and global finance. France's leadership in digital and climate transitions will shape the next generation of European growth. Number 8, Brazil. Brazil is set to add over $1.2 trillion to global GDP. It's the largest economy in Latin America, rich in resources, and a powerhouse in agribusiness, mining, and energy. The government is investing heavily in digital banking and tech infrastructure. A rising middle class and continued urbanization will boost retail, services, and e-commerce. For investors, Brazil offers opportunities in agriculture, mining, fintech, and renewable energy. But watch for currency and political risks. Number 7, United Kingdom. The UK is projected to add about $1.5 trillion in new GDP. London remains a top 3 global financial center. Fintech, biotech, and green finance are booming, especially post-Brexit. The UK's highly educated workforce supports innovation across tech, creative, and professional services. Startups are thriving, and the UK remains a key gateway to global markets. Number 6, Japan. Japan will add around $1.7 trillion in new GDP by 2035. Despite a shrinking population, Japan leads in robotics, automation, and advanced electronics. The country is investing in digital transformation and healthcare for its aging population. Japan's giant corporations and massive R&D budgets keep it at the cutting edge of global supply chains and technology. For investors, look to robotics, green energy, medicine, and automation. Number 5, Germany. Germany is set to add about $2 trillion in new GDP over the next decade. As Europe's largest economy, Germany leads in high-value manufacturing, automotive, and industrial engineering. It's at the forefront of Industry 4.0, think automation, smart factories, and the energy transition. Germany's Mittelstand, the country's network of small and mid-size firms, drive exports and innovation. Opportunities are strongest in automation, mobility, green hydrogen, and advanced manufacturing. Number 4. Indonesia. Indonesia is projected to add about $2.5 trillion to global GDP by 2035. It's the world's fourth most populous country and Southeast Asia's largest economy. A young, urbanizing population is fueling a digital boom, especially in e-commerce and financial services. Foreign investment is flowing into manufacturing, logistics, and renewable energy. Infrastructure upgrades and government reforms are accelerating growth across the board. Number 3. United States. America is expected to add more than $6 trillion in new GDP by 2035. The U.S. remains the world's innovation engine, leading in AI, cloud computing, biotech, energy, and global entertainment. A diverse workforce and top universities power continual reinvention and growth. Even as its percentage growth slows, the U.S.'s absolute contribution to new global wealth remains huge. For investors, the U.S. offers world-class opportunities in tech, healthcare, consumer brands, and real estate. Number 2. India. India is expected to add between $6 and $7 trillion to global GDP over the next decade. It's the fastest-growing major economy, fueled by digitalization, manufacturing, infrastructure, and a massive young workforce. By 2035, India will be the world's third-largest economy, with an exploding middle class driving new demand. Investors should watch tech, fintech, renewable energy, logistics, and consumer sectors for high-growth opportunities. India is a global hub for startups and greenfield projects. And finally, number 1. China. China is projected to add nearly $8 trillion in new GDP by 2035. Even as growth rates slow, China's scale is unmatched. It leads in manufacturing, high-value exports, green energy, and the digital economy. China's middle class keeps growing, R&D spending is soaring, and cities like Shenzhen are global tech leaders. For investors, China offers scale in everything from e-commerce to electric vehicles to AI, but local know-how is essential. Let's recap. The 10 countries expected to drive the most world economic growth between 2025 and 2035 are China, India, United States, Indonesia, Germany, Japan, United Kingdom, Brazil, France, and Mexico. Together, they will generate about 70% of new global GDP this decade. If you're investing, expanding a business, or planning your future, focus on these geographies. This is where new customers, new innovations, and new fortunes will emerge. If you found this video valuable, check out our last episode on industries which would be most transformed by AI over the next 5 years. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more data-driven insights on global opportunities. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which country do you think is the biggest wild card for the next decade? Where are you investing? Let's discuss. This is Wealth Atlas Official, helping you navigate tomorrow's biggest opportunities.